from losing the battle to an opioid addiction.
The biggest one being the amount of painkillers he had in his system. It's the highest I have ever seen.
To dying from a heart attack.
I just received a call from a medical examiner to inform me that late last night it appears Kenny's heart gave out.
These are the stars of My 600 Pound Life who tragically lost their lives in the middle of filming. Starting with Khisa McMillan, a mother of 4 with a very traumatic upbringing. Making her debut in the 12th episode of the 8th season, Khisa weighed in at approximately 643 pounds. She had turned to food early in life after she had suffered deep emotional and sexual abuse from people who were supposed to protect her.
Because she was horrible to me and my brother, and she expected us to call her mom. So when I told her I would never call her mom, she came up to me and she slapped me. We fought pretty good. And so when my dad came in and he saw how bad she was beat up, well, my dad, he was drunk and he snatched me up. We rode about 5 miles down the road. He left me at my great uncle's house, recently out of jail for raping and molesting 4 of his grandchildren, knowing he was gonna rape me.
Hearing her backstory, many viewers instantly hated her father and wished him the absolute worst. I've never cried during a backstory and a retelling of it in therapy during this show before. Following years of eating to hide the pain, Khisa finally decided to reach out to Dr. Now for help.
You're here to be healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my suggestion is you want to be healthy. You stop smoking. Quit the patches. Because they're equally as bad as smoking. Actually, in your situation, you smoke may be better than having nicotine from patch.
Really?
Okay? Yeah, because you had a heart attack and you using nicotine, which is detrimental for coronary artery disease.
Khalisa's situation was dire, so the doctor put her on a diet and asked her to lose 50 pounds every month if she was ever going to get weight loss surgery. By the next month, she had lost only 27 pounds and proceeded to blame everyone but herself.
So you studied eating 4 to 5 times what you should.
Dr. Now, I want to tell you all so bad. I've done everything that you told me to do. I did my 1,400 calories. I did exercises. I don't even go in my wheelchair no more. But you're acting like I didn't do anything. I've completely quit smoking, and I'm already upset enough at myself, but don't sit there and try to say that I did not do what you asked me to do, because I did.
Still, Dr. Now gave her another chance to prove she really wanted to change her life. But Khisa still found it difficult to meet her targets. Even after moving down to Houston to be closer to Dr. Now, she had only lost 25 pounds by their next appointment, making the doctor very angry.
So tell me, you still smoking?
Dr. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did good all the way up until yesterday.
Khisa, just pay attention. Is it a heart attack or your life?
I
Which
don't
one?
want either, but I'm crazy. If I go crazy, then I'm gonna be in a mental institute.
Okay, just stop.
I
Okay,
know you, Dr.
Just
Now.
pay attention, just look at me. Okay, don't look at the wall, just look at me, okay? You can already have coronary artery disease, and nicotine is worst drug you can use.
Okay.
Khisa had already done irreparable damage to her body because 2 weeks after this appointment, she began feeling severe pain in her abdomen and called Dr. Now for help. It turned out her overeating had caused an old scar from a C-section to open up, and as a result, she was admitted for close monitoring. It had been nearly 3 months since Khisa began her weight loss journey, and yet she was nowhere close to her target. But in a surprising turn of events, Dr. Now approved her for surgery.
Today we're attempting to do a gastric sleeve on Khisa. She's been in hospital for 3 weeks on a controlled diet, and we got her weight down another 64 pounds. So she's down to 526 now. And it was enough to get her heart strong enough for cardiology to clear her for surgery. Okay, starting the first incision. But we did this operation to save Khalisa's life because her body wasn't going to be able to take the strain of all the weight that's on her for much longer, especially her heart.
Khalisa's unique condition had forced the doctor's hand. She was running out of time, and the viewers knew it. Khalisa's heart condition allowed her to game the system. She didn't have to do any work, and she still got to have the surgery. I hope she realizes how lucky she is. The surgery was a success, and by her next appointment, she weighed approximately 499 pounds. Unfortunately, her new lease on life did not last long, and she soon suffered complications from the surgery. She became septic, was put on a ventilator for 2 weeks, and was in a medically induced coma. Although Khisa survived the scare, she had health problems from her surgery, and it ultimately ended her life in the middle of filming the episode. Tragically, Khisa only got a hold of her life a little bit too late, much like this next star who tried her best but ultimately lost. Originally from Greensboro, North Carolina, Kelly Mason weighed an enormous 725 pounds when she first appeared on the show. She also had multiple comorbidities, including type 2 diabetes and congestive heart failure. By 2018, she reached out to Dr. Now and was in Houston within a few days, eager to turn her life around.
Well, any amount of activity like that is bound to take a toll on you. When you're up to 726 pounds and you have a BMI of 117. That's almost breaking the record for the highest I have seen yet. So I can tell you right now that you're likely already in very critical condition with all that strain on your body. And that's a situation that we have to turn around immediately.
From just looking at her charts, Dr. Now knew Kelly's case was incredibly delicate. She needed immediate intervention, so he asked her to lose 100 pounds by the next month. But before she could get home, Kelly suffered an incredibly traumatic ordeal.
All right, Kelly, I know you're tired, but you can't let yourself get stuck in between the seats. You okay?
No.
Just hold on, just breathe, okay?
I need to be off. My knee is hurting.
Okay, just take it easy. We got some help coming, okay?
Can you push yourself backwards? No, ow!
Hold on.
Stop.
Okay, just take it easy.
Stop.
Help is coming in, okay? You just relax, take a deep breath, and breathe normally, okay?
After spending several minutes trapped between the seats, Kelly was eventually rescued by paramedics and rushed to the hospital. Seeing this, Dr. Now decided to admit Kelly so he could keep a close eye on her and monitor her failing heart. In just 1 month at the hospital, Kelly lost over 100 pounds and was sent to another facility to help her improve her mobility. Unfortunately, this change of environment ended up having a negative effect on her.
I don't like the food here, so ordering out food.
Let's sort it out and so we get some idea about it. First of all, you need to decide if you want to live or die right now. Because at this point, you're not going to be around much longer if you keep doing this. Since you've been in this facility, you should have at least lost 25 pounds by now. But I bet you already started gaining again.
This time, Dr. Now's tough love did exactly what he had hoped for, and by the 5th month of her program, Kelly weighed 505 pounds and was approved for gastric sleeve surgery, in which the doctor removes nearly 80% of the patient's stomach, restricting the amount of food they can eat. The surgery was a success, and Kelly spent the next few weeks recovering at the hospital before returning home. By January 2019, she was down to 383 pounds, but the joy of success did not last long. Tragically, on February 15, 2019, Kelly Mason passed away in her sleep due to cardiac arrest. Her death saddened not only Dr. Now,
Still very hopeful that we would be able to get her out of state of heart failure. So I'm very saddened to hear this news.
but viewers who had watched her actually beat the odds. I was so sad when I saw the ending. Just as she was making progress in getting her life together, Dr. Now knew this day would come. Still, he was visibly shocked when the news of her death broke, just like this next star who fought until the very end. Known for his YouTube persona, Mr. Buttermilk Biscuits, Larry, who appeared in the 13th episode of the 10th season, admitted to weighing 940 pounds at some point in his life, making him one of the biggest stars on My 600 Pound Life. Interestingly, he had undergone gastric sleeve surgery in the past, but went back to eating and ultimately stretching his stomach back out after the death of his sister. Larry then reached out to Dr. Now and was on his way to Houston when he suddenly developed a sharp pain in his leg and he feared the worst.
And you're not able to walk?
I can walk some. It's just right now my leg hurts.
And this is something new?
As far as the pain in my leg?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
But you got a big lymphedema mass in here.
Yes.
That's all
and I
along.
had that removed too, and it grew back.
Well, of course that will grow back.
Larry was heavier than he had ever been in his life, and Dr. Now was well aware, so he asked him to lose 50 pounds over the next month. Yet, month after month, Larry failed to meet Dr. Now's weight loss requirement, and by the 5th month of the program, he was nowhere near ready for surgery, much to the doctor's disappointment.
Okay, so you already had the one weight loss surgery.
Yes.
And if you stick with the diet and make all the changes you say you made, then you should easily lose 50 to 60 pounds a month.
Okay.
But you lost 37 pounds in 3 months, so you need to do better with that.
Yes.
And change your eating habit. Because second weight loss surgery, the chances of success are not very high.
Despite Larry's stuttering progress, Dr. Now still gave him another chance to meet up with his weight loss goal, asking him to lose 120 pounds over the next 2 months. Well, once again, Larry failed and only managed to lose 16 pounds. But instead of giving up, he decided to move down to Houston so he could be closer to Dr. Now and prove that he really wanted to change his ways.
So at this point, you have your work to do for next 3 months to prove to me that you're going to be qualified for weight loss surgery, okay?
Okay.
You think you can do that?
I know I can. Absolutely.
So you're not going to let us down, do you?
No, I come too far and I've moved down here for good. So I'm going to do it.
Great, because if you don't, we're not moving ahead with the surgery. So don't relax and slip up. You got it.
Understand.
Moving to Houston turned out to be the right decision because just a few weeks later, Larry lost another 100 pounds and was well on his way to a better life. Unfortunately, just days after turning 43, he suffered a heart attack and died before he could complete the program. It's a harsh reminder that our health can turn on us faster than we think, and sometimes it's not about how hard we push during the day, but how well we recover at night. A 2022 study by the University of Chicago looked at overweight adults sleeping an average of 6.5 hours a night. When researchers helped them increase that to 8.5 hours, they naturally ate about 270 fewer calories a day without changing their diet or workouts. That's the equivalent of losing 26 pounds in a year just from improving sleep. That's why I want you to know about Sleep Lean, a 100% natural stimulant-free formula you take before bed. It helps you relax, fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and activate your body's overnight fat-burning mode. And right now, they're running an incredible deal. 6 bottles for just $39 each, plus free US shipping and 2 bonus ebooks to help speed up your result. Click the link in the description now to claim your supply. It's backed by a 90-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. Speaking of life-changing decisions, let's get back to someone who was facing her own fight for survival. Making her on-screen debut in the 2nd episode of the 11th season, Latona weighed approximately 632 pounds and desperately needed help. So she traveled down to Houston and during her first appointment with Dr. Now, realized just how dangerous a situation she had found herself in.
You know, you have BMI of over 100, and normal BMI is 18 to 25, and that's very high BMI. And as young as you are, your body has been able to handle that. But that's gonna change here soon. And you keep gaining like you have, all that weight is gonna put a lot of strain on your system. You're not gonna live that long. If you really put the math together, you have eaten the food that belonged for next 4 years ahead of time.
Latona had been here before. She had reached out to Dr. Now almost 5 years ago when she weighed just over 480 pounds. But after their first session, she stopped showing up. Now, she was well over 600 pounds and needed to follow Dr. Now's diet plan if she was going to make any progress. To her credit, she stuck with the program this time around, but the doctor's words had still not gotten to her, and she ended up gaining more weight by her next appointment.
Yeah, you should have pain because you are 636 pounds instead of being 170 pounds. And you're still in this motorized wheelchair. You don't want to give that up. You don't want to give up your eating habit. Well, you were supposed to lose weight, you were supposed to change anything, you were supposed to call if you had any question, but you didn't follow the diet. You keep eating too much, and you won't admit it. It's been 5 years since you tried to get help, and you're worse off more than ever now.
Still, Latona failed to lose enough weight by her next appointment, and things only got worse after she was rushed to the hospital. She had developed severe leg pains and was having difficulty breathing. Doctor now discovered that her weight was putting a heavy strain on her heart and knew she needed to stop eating before it was too late, so he confronted her once again.
Well, everything looked like it's doing good. But I'm going to keep you in the hospital for a couple of weeks because your heart may be struggling a little more than I'm comfortable with to send you home. So I'm going to run some more tests on you, and I'm going to get a cardiologist to come look at you and see what your heart is doing and see what we can do with you, okay? I think most of your problem is your weight. Okay? So the most important thing for you is that you need to lose some weight. Okay?
I'm trying.
You keep saying you're trying, but you're running out of time.
Unfortunately, all his warnings fell on deaf ears, and by the end of her season, Latona had only lost 43 pounds, a fact that irritated some viewers. She wanted everyone to feel bad for her situation when she put herself in that situation. Tragically, on May 17, 2025, Latona passed away at the age of 40. The Natchitoches Parish Coroner's Office confirmed her cause of death as congestive heart failure. Her inability to change her habit led to her dying, just like this next star who also died from health complications. Angela Gutierrez made her on-screen debut in the 15th episode of the 7th season and weighed in at approximately 608 pounds. Like the others on this list, she had multiple comorbidities and, after trying for years to control her weight, finally decided to reach out to Dr. Now for help.
So you're here to get help with your weight. And today you're 608.
Yes.
And it says here you already had weight loss surgery in 2002.
Yes, sir.
And at that time, how much you weighed?
It was up to 375 and I lost 100 pounds.
You were 375?
Yes.
Well, you obviously started to gain again. But this time, you passed 375, you didn't stop there, you go all the way to over 600 pounds. It's never too late to try to save your life. But you want all that enough this time to actually do what you need this time.
Yes.
Following their appointment, Dr. Now put her on his strict diet plan. He wanted her to lose 40 pounds over the next couple of months, but Angela simply couldn't do it. In fact, she was so off track that when it was time for a follow-up session, Angela started making excuses.
I feel like I've lost most of my motivation. 3 months ago, I was very excited. Like, I probably would have stayed in Texas. When I seen Dr. Now, I would have stayed probably. Now I'm the opposite. Main reason is family. Nobody's supporting me. Nobody's wanting me to do this. No, not even my daughter.
After avoiding the doctor for nearly 3 months, Angela finally called Dr. Now. She had lost all motivation and believed she didn't need to go to Houston, at least not until it was time for her surgery.
Well, what's going on with you? Because it's been over 3 months since I saw you, and you haven't been by for your second appointment. So what's going on?
I'm having problems trying to find a place to live there, but as far as moving all the way there just to be on my diet and to lose pounds, I wish you would say, let's do a first time for everything, and Angela stay in Ohio and lose weight, come see me once every 2 months.
So it sounds like you want to make your own program and just tell me how it's going to work.
By the 6th month of her program, she still hadn't gone to Houston for a follow-up. So in the 7th month of her weight loss journey, Dr. Now finally decided to call her himself.
Angela, you're more delusional than I thought if you still think you can manipulate. And when it comes to this program, you're not special. And lying to me about your weight is not going to get me to tell you what you want. You have one option. If you want to do this and save your life, come back down here and show me where your weight is at, and then we can start you on psychotherapy to try and find a way to get through to you and break through all your lies and delusion. If not, then that'll be it for you. because I'm done playing your game.
Angela wasn't interested in anything the doctor had to say. She wasn't going back to Houston, and that was that. Angela's lack of determination annoyed the viewers, with one saying, Angela G's episode was an absolute waste of time. Her episode featured absolutely no weight loss. Tragically, Angela's refusal to lose weight ultimately led to her death at the age of 49 on March 21, 2023 at Bethesda North Hospital in Ohio. Although the actual cause of her death has still not been made public, she had died in the hospital after posting about her low oxygen levels on social media. Much like this next My 600 Pound to Life star, who found it extremely difficult to follow Dr. Now's instructions, and his journey took a heartbreaking turn. Weighing in at a whopping 842 pounds, Rob made his on-screen debut in the 8th episode of the 6th season. Together with his fiancée Catherine, Rob moved to Houston so he could focus on his weight loss journey, even before meeting Dr. Now. But his journey there proved incredibly difficult.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good.
Luckily for Rob, he didn't suffer any injuries and was helped by paramedics back into his van. His first meeting with Dr. Now exposed Rob's dangerous habit. He was on too many pain medications, which were potentially more harmful than his obesity.
So what is with this Dilaudid medicine that you've been hooked on?
Only for the extreme pain in my leg. And I try to take it as least as possible. When I walk or when I do exercises, then that really puts pressure on.
Well, I'm very concerned about all the pain medication you own. So I'm admitting you to the hospital to start you on a 1,200 calorie a day diet.
Okay.
But we also are going to cut you off from the painkillers.
Okay.
Because the rate and amount you're taking is going to kill you.
Slowly, Dr. Now began weaning him off his pain medication, and by the 3rd month, he had lost 217 pounds and was eventually approved for lymphedema removal surgery, basically removing one of the massive flaps on his side. The surgery was a success. Rob had lost another 40 pounds as a result and was scheduled for another lymphedema surgery once he had fully recovered. There was only one problem. He needed very strong pain medication for the healing process, but Dr. Now would not let him relapse.
Now let me ask you, Doc, before I go, can I get a last something for pain before we go?
Robert, let me ask you a couple of questions. How long you been on Dilaudid?
On and off for a few years.
Few years. Okay, you know that medicine is highly addictive. And you know that everybody that has been on Dilaudid, we have a hard time to get them off. You have to understand that this medication creates two problems. One is a chemical dependency, the other one is psychological dependency. You're not in pain, but this medication is making you to feel like you're in pain. So we got you off of this medication, and we're not letting you back on, or it's gonna ruin your life.
Rob didn't care about the doctor's warnings. He wanted more drugs for the pain and did the unthinkable.
We had Robert on minimal painkillers, and he wasn't happy with the limits we put on him. And once we started to take him completely off, he got so upset that he tore his sutures open just so he could get them again.
Following this, Dr. Now spoke to Rob once again, hoping to make him understand how dire his situation was.
Just stop with the excuses and get out of this bed.
See, I fully understand what you mean. The only thing is that my leg is not letting me do it. It's not because...
That's what he's talking about.
Every time you bring it up, he just go back there, I can't get up, I can't get up. Well, you can. So your excuses are over.
Yet, without his desired dosage, Rob did not have any motivation to carry on or do the required exercises, and his health began to suffer as a result, to the point where he was rushed to the ER after suffering a heart attack. He did not survive, leaving Dr. Now to comfort Catherine and Rob's mother.
I am so sorry for your loss. Robert had struggled with his weight all his life, and he knew that he was running against the clock, and his body gave up. But he never did give up.
And thank you for trying.
He was so excited that you were going to help him. So excited.
I'm very glad to have had a chance to meet him and to know him. So, Catherine doing okay?
She's inconsolable.
It wasn't just Catherine who was devastated by his loss. Fans around the world couldn't believe it. Robert's story broke my heart. I was legit sobbing when he died. I whale cried, and I'm manly AF. Now, if you like my videos, please subscribe or watch my similar videos here.